Quadrajet carburetors. I treat them like my kids. I love them to death. I got one that's a basket case. And today we're going to try to take it apart and see if the basket case is even repairable or what. It's the Holy Grail. It's a stage 1 carburetor. And I'm going to see what we can do. It's been sitting, it literally sat outside for like 20 years when I got it. And I have no idea how bad it is. So we're going to take it apart. We're going to find out, can it be repaired? Can we put it back in service? What's going on? I give you the rundown and details of all the parts inside. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, stand by. You're about to find out what's inside the Holy Grail of Holy Grails of Quadrajet carbs for a Buick.
We're going to take a break from windage tray creation and go through a dilapidated 1971 Buick GS Stage 1 carburetor. I had every intention of using this on my 70 Stage 1. I know it's a year different, but the 70 Stage 1 carburetor, long gone with the wind. Nobody's seen it for 25 years, and it probably didn't even come on the car, to be honest with you, but I have no one to ask. So I had planned on using this Stage 1 carburetor from the 71 model on my 70, which virtually the linkage is the same. It just is a few distinct differences between the two, but when you're talking Stage 1 carburetor for a Buick 455, it has its own unique calibration. So I thought it'd be kind of neat to take one apart where most people have never seen one. And if you do find them, they generally show up like on eBay for around $700 to $1,000. Now, if you're familiar with the Quadrajets, you know that majority of them had the numbers stamped here on the side. This one here actually is a 1971 service replacement carburetor, so it was sold over the shelf or over the counter at the Buick dealership, and as a replacement part for say a 71 Stage 1. The 70 carburetor, like I said, long gone. This is as pretty much as my Stage 1 block, long gone. And the car, I'm just trying to get it as close as I can to a stock 70 Stage 1 without going over the top. It would cost me bajillions of dollars to try to make it numbers matching correct, and I'm going to get it as close as I can for the amount of money that I have available. So I just thought it'd be kind of neat, do an autopsy on this sucker, and you all can see what size of jets, metering rods, the hangers, the whole 9 yards that make up a Stage 1 carburetor. Okay, because there really is no physical difference with the exception of this calibration for a Stage 1. So just bear with me, and we'll tear this sucker down in a matter of minutes, and we'll discuss the things that we find. First things I've noticed is, one, the secondary air door here is propped open. It's actually past the stops, and it's kind of stuck, and there is no way to make it function. The linkage here for the secondary air door is beyond repair. It's absolutely damaged to death. But all in all, it has the correct numbers on the side, and it's going to work well for our combination since it is virtually just going to be a stock 70 Stage 1 engine. Let me get this screw off of here. All right, so first things first, it'd break off, of course. So we're going to pull off the secondary hanger here. Oh my God! No wonder this thing is messed up. Jeez. So this one's legitimately the dead body that you found at the bottom of a river. Okay, so your secondary hanger for a 71 Stage 1 over-the-counter service replacement carburetor. Let me clean it up. Okay, I'm back. So after grabbing my spectacles as an old man does, and then wire wheeling a few things, I have taken off the secondary hanger, which in this turn is a K hanger. Okay, and I'm assuming most of these parts are the factory pieces that would have come in this carburetor, so it may be a little bit different from what you've seen, that maybe it's not exactly what came in there. I don't have anything telling me what is and what is not supposed to be in there, but I figured this is probably better than nothing. All right, secondary metering rods, AV secondary metering rods. All right, so we'll pull this the fuel line off, and the filter has seen better days, of course. Now this carburetor, I believe it to be have stored at the bottom of a lake for a few years. I'm not entirely sure. It's absolutely just ruined. But the only thing I really need to save from it is the main body, because I can replace the air horn and I can replace the base. But we'll see what we can do with cleaning things up and getting it back together with as many of the factory parts as possible. But functionality is key here. So, all right. So those of you familiar with Quadrajets, the inner hole is what the accelerator pump was attached to. And we have an accelerator pump 48168. Okay, so our arm is a 48168. The next thing I'm going to do is pop the screws off, and we'll start disassembling, see what the primary metering rods and jets are. Okay, so this carburetor is a steaming piece of shit. Alright, so our big long screws that normally hold the top to the base plate are frozen solid. Food for thought. So after some hardcore wrestling, I finally just got the tops ground off of the screws that were stuck, which are really, really stuck. And I'll give you an idea how bad it was. All right, so the accelerator pump was frozen into the air horn. I got it loose. Here is the very top of the power piston. It's completely rusted off. The metering rods were just laying in the bottom. There's a piece of rust attached to one, so which I'm assuming is part of the, and it's, of course, it's bent. So just to find out what size we actually have is going to be kind of difficult. Let me see, I might find something and get lucky here. So if you're building a stage 1 carburetor at home, who cares about the numbers on there? You just want to have a stage 1 carburetor. Your primary metering rods are 45, looks like 45B, so that's right. It's kind of what they're assumed to be. 35 and 74. We'll see what the jets are, if they'll even come out here. All right, so I got the base plate of death removed. And of course, you still got the broken off bolt, but screw. I don't think this base plate's got any life left in it. It is frozen freaking solid, so it's probably gonna become parts, but the rest of the carburetor is not much better. The jets are absolutely frozen in there. Well plugs are completely rusted out of this one. So this is going to take probably a restoration of biblical proportions, most likely a full-blown carburetor restoration shop to get this one right. All right, so here we go. Here's our power piston, completely rusted to death. The top rusted off of it. I can't believe I even got it out, to be honest with you. There should be a spring in there somewhere. I'm sure we're gonna find remnants of a spring. Oh, I see something down there. Here's what's left of it. So it looks like it was a fairly, maybe a small block Chevrolet style spring, not very tight, not very long. So probably had something to do with the lesser vacuum of the stage 1 than anything else. So if you want to know the carburetor number now, it's 7041242. Let's hope yours wasn't stored at the bottom of the ocean or lake or river so that stuff doesn't corrode or get stuck in there or fall apart or rust off. So that way you have a possibility of maybe rebuilding it. This one still is not all hope is lost. This rusted out well plug is kind of an indicator it might be kind of hard to fix this one. but it's not beyond repair. If this was just a regular Quadrajet, like off the shelf, that was virtually for any other Buick, it probably would be like, let's mess with this one later or throw this one in the trash and find something else. Can I fit the whole dang carburetor in there? All right, no I cannot. So I had to put the whole dang thing in it. Literally, like I said, the only thing that's unobtainium, that's hard to come by, is the main body with the stamped numbers on it. Really, that's it. Virtually, this is the same carburetor as a 71 carburetor. I'm sure it may have different size, well, maybe not. It may have different size air bleeds. I don't know. I have to compare it. I got a couple more 71, 72 carburetors that I originally was just going to swap the air horn on since it was so damaged. But I might go a little bit further than that, and the base plate, the air horn, the whole nine, and then just come up with a functional carburetor. I'll see what I can do about those well plugs and getting the jets out. So if I let it sit for a few hours with just some carburetor cleaner in, it might make a big difference. But that's it for disassembly of your abandoned trash, deadbeat, super high dollar. If you were to buy a new one, core carburetor, I think I probably have literally the worst carburetor to start with. I've never had one that was frozen like that. I've had some that are just beat up junk, but this one was a whole new level of crap. That's going to conclude our video for today. I'm just going to start drinking, so I'll talk to you later. See you tomorrow.